Oh, hey guys, I didn't see you there. Welcome to episode 7 of The Warehouse. Parkour! As graceful as that was, welcome to the newest episode of The Warehouse development. A lot has happened. As you can see above me, there are steel columns. We have plywood, we have joists, we have our mezzanine. It is completely covered with plywood at the moment. We've put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns in place. All the stuff that you see behind me is the insulation for the roof. These are thick boys, and they're going to be going in between the joists of the roof upstairs in the mezzanine, and also the main double pitch roof, the Madonna roof, is all going to be filled with this stuff. The roofers are due to come sort of next week, as long as we get the last steel beam put in place above. Everything seems to be going according to plan. Carpenters are coming on Monday to finish off the joisting up, and this can all start going in place, ready for stage 1 of the roof. Took a little bit longer than we had hoped for, mainly because little steel issues. Some of the grid points weren't perfectly aligned. They were parallel on the drawings, but they're actually not perfectly parallel. We fixed that. Dad kindly went over to Stilo in Uxbridge to fix that, and thankfully all been resolved and the delivery came okay. We've got loads of facing bricks here. We've got another big delivery because obviously we decided to have the whole exterior of the building in facing bricks. So that's all done. Now it's November. We're approaching winter. It's cold. Thankfully I can wear a hat to hide my awful hairline, and we can just crack on through this crappy weather and hope that we can just beat it enough to where we get a dry building, and then we can just continue in some nicer conditions. If you look around, we've got puddles, we've got mud. I've got my Timberland boots on right now. It's Timberland season, baby. Hopefully we can just get it to a point where it's not depressing coming in here, because honestly, it's just, you know that song, all around me a familiar face? That's what I hear in my head when I'm walking around here, so yeah. George and Liam have also put the block work here, which separates the inventory room to the paint, powder coating, metal finishing room on the other side. So it seems a bit dark right now, but we'll have obviously lighting all going all through here. And that goes all the way to the end. And if you notice also, we've got our staircase is here now. We cut it out and put it here temporarily so that we could use it as an access point into the mezzanine upstairs. So the staircase used to be there. You can see the old line of where it used to sit. So we cut that out. We do have a void upstairs at the moment, but we've put it here temporarily. Just allows us to get up to the mezzanine pretty easily, because obviously we don't have stairs there anymore. Happy days. If you remember when I spoke about the previous panels that used to be here, we've now obviously knocked them down. They were out. They were also out in the last episode, but you can see the new block work has gone up. All the walls behind there, all the block work's been done. George and Liam are currently on the other side, putting new facing brick on the other side and insulation in between. And we'll probably have this area finished up very soon to close this back wall off. And we'll continue the last section of the building, which is the elevation behind Jamie. We'll go right across there and change all that. We've got some of the panels already taken out now, so we'll just move on to that next once we've got this entire area done. As we finish this lower part, that will eventually go all the way up as well. This is the paint and powder coating room. You can see the scale of it a bit better now. It's probably the tidiest area in the warehouse at the moment, but this is going to be an entire area dedicated to metal finishing, painting, powder coating. Basically, external treatment of the hilts, ways in which we can zhuzh them up a wee bit, make them a bit fancier. We'll be doing everything in here. Zhuzh. We'll have the painting booth on the rear wall because we want ventilation to go straight out of the building. We'll have metal finishing in this area, and we can also have some electroplating probably here.
I love gold!
Because it's kind of small parts, you can have a in-house metal plating area. We have experience with metal plating. We just never had the space to do it properly. So it's something that we want to offer in the future, and we'll be able to do it in this space. And this is also going to be the main entrance. So people will walk around the building. They'll come through here, and you'll be coming in. You can enter to the machine workshop area and in the general stock room, or you've got access to paint and powder coating in here, or we've got the stairs behind Jamie that go straight up to the mezzanine into the development room. There's certain regulations around fire exits. The reason why we have stairs in this area going up to the development room is because there has to be certain minimum distances from points of the building for fire escapes. So before we can even start using this building, we have to have building control approve it. We go through a consultation process with them to make sure we're ticking all the right boxes and that we're abiding by all of the rules that have been set by them. So we have to make sure that everything is according to them and their standards so that we don't have issues when the building's finished. They're currently preparing for a small delivery that we've got of steels. We've got 3 galvanized steel columns that are due to be delivered. Essentially, these panels that run along here, the steels of them are pretty rusted. So we've got 3 new galvanized steels, just double checking, 3 new galvanized steel columns come in. Delivery's here now, so we're gonna get that loaded.
Go on, Dad. Get in there, son.
We're here now in the mezzanine. This is the mezzanine area, AKA the development room. Just to put things into perspective a little bit, this mezzanine area is bigger than my current workshop, just this. So the fact that I'm gonna have this entire building to work in is pretty crazy when you think about it. I don't think it's really even hit me yet. The fact that this area is kind of coming together is really exciting. The reason why we haven't joisted up the center of the roof ridge is because there is going to be a ridge roof light. So that's actually all going to be glass above us. We've had different quotes from different people. I mean, I had one quote yesterday, £30,000 for the ridge light.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And we had another one today, £9,000. So we're just trying to figure out the best quality for price, but it is an expensive element of the design. I wish I knew beforehand when we were designing with the architect how much something like that would be. But really, when I think about it, it will add a lot of value to the building and it makes the building look beautiful. I'm quite eager to actually do that, but we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we've been joisting up in between the steels, the crank beams and everything. So this was quite an involved process. We did have the genie lifts, which I've spoken about in previous videos, to lift all the steels up into here. And essentially, this is ready for the roofers to get started. The insulation that you saw at the beginning of the video, that gets packed in between here. And then you have a VCL, which is like a sort of vapor barrier that goes on. And then obviously the stand and seam type roof system that we're going for. We've got something called a warm roof. It's really energy efficient. That was obviously a big part of the whole design, that we had an energy efficient building. We do have a solar panel system that will be going on the building, which will make our utility bills kind of like almost zero in a way with how efficient it's going to be. You pay a big amount up front, obviously, but it pays itself off in the future. And we have put plywood down here temporarily. We'll give the area a good clean and make it all nice for when we want to put the finished floor on top. So in terms of the block work, we obviously need to finish this area off. We do have quite a unique plan of having like the Death Star throne room window here. We actually haven't done the design yet or spoken to specific fabricators to make that. It's kind of on the back burner just until we get more things done, because obviously we're going to have some pad stones put here for this steel beam to rest on. Make sure that this is secure. You can see it's kind of just hanging a little bit here at the moment, and then we'll do the rest of the facing brick going up. This particular aspect of the build, the mezzanine, has progressed really well. We didn't have too many problems. Just the fact of seeing the sheer size of it in comparison to my workshop that I work out of now is crazy. So I'm very, very excited to get this started. Very excited. We're now in the recreational space, and as you can see, part 1 of our Madonna roof has started. So to put things into a bit of an easier understanding, this entire floor span gets divided up into what we call grid lines. This is grid lines 4 to 8. That's the 8th grid line. So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, that goes to there. So when we got the second delivery of our steels, we requested for it to be for grids 4 to 8. We've put obviously these large beams. We've only got one more beam and some more columns to do, which we're going to do tomorrow. The next beam that we need to put in is this one here. It goes between those 2 points there. And then we've got about 3 more columns to put in between underneath. And that will complete the steel erection for grids 4 to 8. Now, after the erection is complete, the joisting happens. the joisting happens. These plates that you see on the beams here, that's the joist hangers. They're deliberately put in place so that it makes it easier for the carpenters to cut all of their timber joists to size and then bolt them in. So if you imagine, he can just be here cutting the same pieces of wood over and over again. It makes for like almost like an assembly line kind of process. He just cuts the same pieces, the amount required, and then he can start bolting them into place and completing the joisting up of this pitched roof here. So it makes it much easier. It's actually less expensive to do it this way, but just careful planning allows us to speed things up in the overall process. Instead of having to cut different pieces to size or having to get different lengths of wood, it can just literally be done so repetitively it becomes second nature. As I said, the next stage for us is to get the delivery for the steels for this area. You can see how nice the steels are looking behind me here, and you can also see the entrance from the corridor just in the middle there. So that's where people will actually walk in to enter the recreational space. We have given some clues in the previous episode of what we're putting in the recreational space, like the Star Wars set design. So that's all going to be in that open space, the place where people can chill out, have a chat, talk about lightsabers, talk about Star Wars, whatever they want to do, a little area just to relax in. We're getting everything prepared here. We've already started putting up some of the brick panels up here. That one in particular had to be done quite early because it's affected by what's been going on downstairs as well. But we are full speed ahead, guys. and it's getting really, really exciting now, seeing the actual shape come together. When you take all this stuff out, it becomes a bit difficult to envision as time goes on. Once these big major parts get done, you can actually really start to feel like it's becoming the shape of a building again. I'm sure a lot of people you were watching in previous episodes and probably thought, well, wait, this doesn't even look like a building right now. But we are getting there and it's looking pretty exciting. We're probably standing right now in what's going to be the kitchen. This little area will be like a little kitchenette where we can make coffees and maybe make some lunch, something like that. And then we've got photo and video studio, offices that will be there. And then obviously the main staircase where people will be coming up. The guys are working hard here now, so I'm gonna let them crack on. I'll get off site. If you haven't subscribed yet, guys, make sure you subscribe, and you can follow us on Instagram as well and on Facebook to see some of the updates of what we're doing. I'm sure you guys are gonna be pretty keen to see what's gonna be coming soon as this building gets finished up. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace. Paint me like one of your French girls, Jack. My heart will